Hey folks, Big Blue's back. This one's a 99 Dodge Ram 3500 extended cab, 4-wheel drive dually with a flatbed, and it's a big beast. Power steering don't work, pump is shot, and of course this has a hydro boost system, so it uses the power steering pump for brake assist, so that's your power brakes. There's no vacuum booster on this. So when that pump goes, your brakes, you're basically two-footing to stop something this big, and it don't steer. So that's just a recipe for disaster. You can't steer it or stop it. Yeah, thanks, I'll pass. You can, but it's a beast. Anyways, if you ever looked under the hood of a 5.9 Cummins after a decade or two, it's greasy in there. And step one's going to be to power wash this so I don't got to deal with all this grease. Yeah, it's dirty down in there. I just blasted the cap and I can actually read it now. Well, I can at least see the power steering pump now, and the bolts and the hoses, so let's get on with it. Okay, I just muscled her into the shop here. What a feat that was. Well, I thought I was going to go through my toolbox there at one point. I had to 2-foot the brake pedal while being unable to steer. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's oil right there. Should be up to like there. So this is like basically empty on oil. Never a good thing to run an engine out of oil. We gotta find out what's going on there. What other fluids, I wonder, are near empty? Well, I guess it's a good thing we're doing an oil change, huh? Okay, let's drain some oil. Well, let's be honest, these are still 12 liters in a Cummins, so we got oil there. You can always tell a diesel. Oil is so black. Yeah, that ain't no 12 liters, I guarantee you that. Yeah, that's empty already. If that was 3 liters, I'd be surprised. Some of that was from a previous oil change. Yeah, there's nothing left there. And it just barely filled the 4-liter jug. So there was like 2.5 liters of oil in this engine. Okay, oil filter is located right there. You can kind of see it. So the easiest way is to move this air line out of the way that feeds the turbo from the filter, and that'll get you a little bit better access. I wonder if I can get that from down below. Can't really see, it's dark in there. It's dark! Which means, yeah, those hoses are on there good. Checking the turbo there. A lot of times when these wear out, that fin will bang around in there. Doesn't appear to be any actual slop. Now you can see the filter pretty good. It's right there. I'm going to try and spin that off before we go get a filter wrench. A little more light for you. There you go. Now you can see it. I need something to stand on. This thing's too darn big. Oh, it's a miracle. I actually got it by hand. Yeah, it's in a tight spot here. She's a big one. All right, there's a new filter in place. You can see I wrote October 23, 518,223 kilometers. Right where you can see it. Get that hose put back on and then get on to what we're actually here to fix. Okay, folks, there's your power steering pump. Okay, to make your life easy here, take off the pipe for your intercooler. It goes on down there. Okay, so you're gonna have to pull that one back there, and there should be one more down in behind it, which I think is best probably to get from underneath, unless you're a contortionist. So as far as lines go, you got this one here, which serves your hydro boost, so that goes to your power brakes. That's your return line for the steering, and this is your pressure line. There's enough hose on them that you can unbolt it and bring it up here to where you can work on it a little easier and make less of a mess. Because once you pull those lines, anything in them is dumping out on the floor. So those two there up front that you can see, you can get with a wrench. They're easy enough. In this case, both of the studs are coming out of the front of the pump. So that's actually better. I gotta pull them anyway. That back one, I just use a short socket, a swivel, and a big long extension out to here, right by the upper rad hose. And that's how I got that one out. I don't even know how to get the other one yet. That's probably gonna be from down below, because I see no way of getting in there. I can't even see it from up here. Okay, so the other bolt I got out the same way as I got that other back one, except from down below. You can't even see it from up top. Come out real easy. It's just a matter of getting the right extension. Once you got it out, as you can see here, you just slide it backwards to clear this out of the vacuum pump there. And now you can turn it around your side. Super easy to get all the lines off. Why fight with it, right? All right, again, when it comes to the pressure line, you got tons here. Bring it up and put it where you can work on it. Just don't short your battery out if you got a dual battery like this one. That's a heck of a lot easier that way than trying to do it down there. Okay, this one is your power steering return. This is your return for your Hydro Boost, and this is your supply. The supply goes also to the Hydro Boost. From there it branches out into your steering. Okay, there's a little rubber O-ring in there. You should get a replacement because you don't want to reuse that. Okay, there we go. Steering pump is out. So in my case, this stud here came out with the nut. When I pulled it, the other three studs are still there. You got to take those studs and put them in here. You don't want to damage the threads, so what you're going to do is just take two of the nuts and screw them on part way down the threads, and then turn the other one around and screw it on top of that one. I have two 15 wrenches and just kind of snug them up to each other, and then stud comes right out like so, and then drop it on the ground, because why not, right? Okay, so you pull your studs out of there using that method, screw them into the new pump. Don't even take the nuts off until you got it on. Okay, the next thing, there's two plugs here and here. Because there's different applications for these pumps, you need to take the plugs out of the old one and screw them into this one. Okay, so there's those plugs. They have a little seal on them. I'm gonna put silicone on that one. There ain't supposed to be silicone on those. Probably half the reason it was leaking. Well, we're back, folks. It's been a couple of days. As we were putting the power steering pump in, we discovered a pretty heavy leak, which explains where most of the engine oil went. Turns out the vacuum pump had a crack in the aluminum, and it was leaking oil pretty bad. It's been off before. As soon as I pulled it off, the gasket was more silicone than gasket. When I pulled it apart to have a look at it, the vanes in the vacuum pump were completely worn out, so it really wasn't doing anything. So a few days and several $100s later, we got a new vacuum pump. So we're gonna put the power steering onto the vacuum pump while it's out, and then put it in. It's just easier that way. You can do it both ways. It's just easier because you got to look in here and line this up, and it only goes in one way. It's not that it's hard, it's just this is even easier. So we're going to go ahead, put the power steering onto here, bolt that on, slide the pump in. It's held on with only 2 bolts, and then we hook up the oil line and the vacuum line here. And yeah, hopefully that'll sort out that massive oil leak. All right, there's a whole mess assembled sitting up here in the engine bay. Leave off this nut here because there's a bracket right there that stud goes through, and then you put the nut on. Okay, there you can see the oil air line, the vacuum line, and there's the oil line right there. They go on the vacuum pump. There's the hole where it goes in. You need a gasket. Let's put this thing in there. You're gonna have to trust me because there's just nowhere to set a camera up here. Okay, there's the nut that goes on the bracket. There's our oil line all tight, and that other bolt is back in here, right where my finger's at. You can't see it for the harness here, but it's right there. Okay, so all 3 of those you can get from up above. It's annoying, So it's so much easier to get underneath and just put them in. It takes you 2 minutes. And especially with something like this, you don't even got to jack it up. So there's plenty of room. It's so much easier to get from below. Okay, so there's the pump back in place, vacuum line back on. The bolts are all tight. One thing I got to do is hook up that one return line still. You can see the red cap right there to the right of the filler cap. Which doesn't want to go, of course, because it's ice cold out here. Okay, folks, there's how you do your power steering pump and your vacuum pump on a 99 Ram 3500. Anything with the Cummins in that year range is going to be basically the same thing. All in all, not that bad a job, just pretty dirty because, well, it's a Cummins and it's a work truck. Anyways, hope that helps you out. We got all kinds of wiring gremlins and things yet to do on this, so we'll catch us on the next one.